this is Lacey, your Las Vegas gal, coming to you live from Las Vegas. I am excited because I'm doing our weekly update that we try to do on a frequent basis with my sweet friend Amber Coleman from Guild Mortgage. So I'm going to bring her on in just a moment. We're going to talk about, the important stuff that we've been learning about the real estate industry, about Las Vegas, about the economy. We'll give you a small update, but the goal of this live video today is to help you plan for the future. So we're going to walk through some stuff that we've been hearing from many of you who've been reaching out, asking us for advice. Just for those of you who are sitting at home, which is all of you, right? For those of you who are sitting at home, we want to give you some tips and tricks and some tools to maybe work on your credit, start working on some things so you can keep dreaming for the future while we're sitting through this whatever mess that we're in as a society. So I'm going to bring Amber Coleman on. Hey Amber, how are you?
Hello, in Las Vegas, gal. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, this is Amber Coleman, your loan gal. I guess we could start doing that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, huh?
Yeah, how you doing? Is everything going with you guys in your world?
I'm good in quarantine Las Vegas, right? This is how it looks.
Man, I tell you, it's I feel like you're like the warm colored quarantine, and I'm like this bright. I've got all this light, so I feel like I need to come cuddle up next to you on the couch. You look pretty cozy.
I'm in Lone World all the time, so I have to keep it all warm and
I know.
Fuzzy in here.
I know. We've got a few people joining us live, but I wanted to just give you a quick chance to just give kind of your take, your update on your side of the world from a loan perspective and just economy stuff that you're learning about. I'll give a quick update on mine, and then let's talk about some of the stuff we're helping a lot of our clients do right now while we're all stuck at home.
Okay. Well, like on a loan perspective, as far as what we're seeing is it's a roller coaster ride. We're not going through anything different than what we're seeing everywhere else. The rates are moving up and down more so than I've ever seen them before. And I think we're going to continue that roller coaster until we're all back to work right now, until like everything's open and we're back to work. So right now it's just a matter of watching everything day to day. And then, if you have a question on what's going on with the rates and stuff like that, I'm happy to answer it. It's hard to give you like in advance moves because it's day to day right now with what's happening with all the movement and everything. Yeah.
How's what kind of questions are you getting from the clients that are reaching out to you?
Well, I mean, most of them, they want to know like what's happening in the market. So I'll explain, all that's happening in the market. A lot of them are asking about the forbearances, and there seems to be some good and some bad about the forbearances. And I know we've talked about that on the show before, with like, the forbearances if you're out of work and if you should call to be able to get your mortgage moved, to the back of the loan. So right. There is some good because it takes care of like immediate stuff, for you right now. But then you just want to pay attention to the paperwork that you're signing and just make sure to read through it thoroughly, just so that you know like what you're going to be signing for that. And that's the thing, I'm trying to get copies of that paperwork, but that's kind of what I'm getting on the wire is just to watch that stuff.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. I've got a lot of clients asking me, mainly investors asking, am I allowed to, call about the forbearance, stuff that they're providing, or am I allowed to take advantage of, all the things that they're giving to homeowners? I'm a homeowner, but I'm an investor. I don't live there. Is it different? So I've actually indicated to almost every one of the people who have called me, even if you don't know the answer, call anyway, because at the end of the day, you want to know so that you can decide what your options are and what you're going to exercise during this process.
Yeah, for sure. And get the paperwork, all the paperwork that's necessary so that you can read it. And this one, I would fully read through it because I don't know if there's a notary or anything that's going to be on that one. So I'm trying to get copies of that paperwork. But if anybody has any insight because you've already been through it, I'd be happy to hear about it too.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good call to action. So if anybody's watching this who has gone through the process of asking for the forbearance or delaying your mortgage payments or anything like that, if you're an investor or a homeowner, feel free to click the link in the description below, and then I'll also paste the link over here in the comments so that you can quickly access it. Let us know. We'd love to set up a call and just learn about your experience so we can share it with the audience and just make sure everybody's kind of on the same page and learning as we go. So I think that's a good point. From my side of the street, you're doing the loan stuff, you're helping people continue to see if they can follow through with their purchases and all of that. We on the real estate side, we've obviously made some major adjustments to how we deal with our business. Luckily my team and I have already been doing like virtual tours for our clients for years. We've already got the whole buy a house from afar situation locked down. Thank goodness. We're pretty much experts at it now. The only thing that's kind of slowed us down has been, if the home is occupied, getting inside there to even do a video tour for people who are still interested in buying has been difficult, of course, because who wants to let a stranger in your home if you don't know where they've been or what they've touched or if they're infected, right? So we've been doing a really good job of trying to really just, over prepare, put gloves, mask, hat, shoe booties, whatever we can put on to help people feel comfortable. But that's just slowed us down a little bit. Like, for instance, I've got some clients, actually some of them who are watching right now, who reached out to me like a week ago even, asking about a few properties. Can you get in? Even the vacant ones, we have to make appointments, and they're coming in after us and wiping down. And it's kind of been crazy. It's delayed the process. It's slowed us down. But we're still seeing people call. We're still seeing people write offers. We're seeing a lot of new homes being listed. In fact, our team has 5 or 6, maybe 7 actually going up in the next few weeks. So a lot of people listing their homes, and believe it or not, these people aren't listing because of the coronavirus. They were already planning to list, and they just decided they're not going to let this stop their plans. They're going to continue to move forward. So it's kind of inspiring that these people are still putting themselves out there, going to keep moving forward. It's also cool to see more homes hit the market. We went from 1.2 months worth of inventory, or 1.7 months worth of inventory, which is not even 2 months, just 3 weeks ago, to now we have almost 3 months worth of inventory. So we're seeing a big jump in the homes being listed, which is great. Some for not great reasons, right? Sometimes people have lost their home and they need to sell their house quickly to be able to pay their bills, and that's totally okay. And then some are just people who don't want to wait and just are happy to keep moving forward like everything's going to be okay. So that's my update. But I'm glad that we're all, I actually think we have one more update. Sorry, Amber, I just remembered we were going to tell people about the grant programs. Did you want to give an update on that?
Yeah, with all the crazy, because I know we talked about the grants a whole lot on this show. So with all the craziness that's happening, and people without a work, those kind of programs, anything that's like 100%, they've kind of come to a halt right now. A lot of them have been suspended. They didn't go away. They've just suspended it, and for obvious reasons, they have to wait until everything's back open and running to be able to see where we are, and then we'll be looking at those programs again. But for right now, they're no longer in existence.
Okay.
To be able to fund right now.
Got it. And so if we have people in the midst of all of this that are in contract already, that are already supposed to be taking advantage of those loans, you're taking extra precautions and measures to make sure that they might be able to continue to move forward. For anybody who's planning to write an offer on a house, that's not going to happen right now because things are on hold. Got it. Okay. Yeah. A couple of questions are coming in, but I'm going to hold off on questions for a minute so that we can get going on what we want to talk about. But if you have any questions at all, just jump in the comments, and we'll be sure to try to answer those before we end our live video today. So let's talk a little bit about, we've done these videos before, Amber, where we've talked about how to prepare for your move to Vegas, or your move anywhere, really. This applies to any city in the world, but we're really trying to help people understand that, if we're all locked down at the same time, we don't have much else going on other than maybe those who are able to work from home, why not use this time to help yourself get ready for when this is done, right? Because this will end, like this too shall pass, right? As they always like to say. So why not focus on the future rather than getting caught up in what the president is saying this afternoon or the governor is telling us we can or can't do, and just focus on, what we're going to be doing when all of this is said and done. So I don't know about you, but I've already got like 17 restaurants listed that I want to go sit in and enjoy. I've got some trips that I'd like to take. I'm dreaming big because this has got to go away at some point soon. So, but from a person who's thinking bigger than that, not just going out to eat and not just enjoying their city, but really what they want to do with their life, what they want to do with their next phase of their life, when they want to buy, where they want to live, all of that. Those of you who are already thinking about relocating, this is the talk for you. So Amber, let's give some advice to people. I know you've gotten a lot of calls, as have I, people who are doing just that, thinking of the future, asking what can I do to prepare myself for when coronavirus is over and I want to actually make this move. And credit has been kind of a big concern. A lot of people are looking at their credit reports, they're sitting at home, they're pulling it, they're trying to see what they can do to clean it up. Let's give them some tips on how they can get that fixed.
Okay, and that's been happening a lot. I mean, a lot of people are calling and just, right now you're at home, so you're just waiting to kind of do it. And what I think that happens in these types of markets is that greatness within comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of what always happens. What you are always dreaming about doing is what's going to happen, because you know you're tired of what you're living right now. And so I keep talking from people all over the United States that are like, I'm moving to Vegas. Please tell me what I need to be able to do to make this happen, because we're stuck in our homes, and if you already didn't like your city, you're not going to like it more right now. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are just reaching out, and then what's happening is that, you know, a lot of times they'll have some credit issues that they didn't know about in the past. So we figured it was a good thing to talk about today, is to go through those credit, and then let's kind of get you ready to buy when the time is right to buy and everything's open, which hopefully we're just 30 days away.
I'm not seeing a reduction in the desire to move to Vegas. I feel like Vegas is, I know it's scary because the city's been shut down and we don't have access to the casinos, and it just feels like, oh my gosh, you know, we only have tourism and that's the only reason the city will stay alive, which is not the case at all. You know, we're all just pausing right now, but the city has really come together. It's been such a beautiful thing, but I am not seeing a slowdown at all. People are still calling me left and right. Oh, I'm still coming. I'm coming in May. And I'm like, you sure you're coming in May? You don't want to maybe wait till June just to make sure? No, I booked my ticket. I'm coming in May. You know, so it's really inspiring to see that. But and it's also been cool getting calls from people saying, hey, why don't I use my time wisely while I'm off here? So let's give tip number one. What's tip number one for, like, if you have something on your credit you didn't know was there, how do you get rid of it? What's the best way to go about it?
Well, a lot of times people will see, like, collections. Sometimes collections will, you know, will make you to where you don't want to even face them, you know, that kind of thing. And just like one collection, it could be like a medical collection for $40. And it's ridiculous how much that hits your points. Like 40 to 60 points. It's so ridiculous what one collection will do. But it's one collection. So sometimes it's just a matter of calling that collection company and saying, okay, I didn't know this was on there. I thought I paid this bill. I'm willing to take care of it if you'll give me a deletion letter from it. If they can give you a deletion letter, because sometimes people will think, well, let me just pay it in full and then it'll be gone. No, you want to negotiate with it, because paying in full still shows the collection. It's still on your credit. So it's really not going to help your score, even though it's at zero, because there's still a trade line that shows a collection. So what you want to do is you want to call them and say, okay, I have this collection. I'll pay it in full if you're willing to give me a deletion letter. And sometimes they'll say, yeah, sure, I'll give you a letter. Be specific that you want a deletion letter, because a paid in full letter isn't going to do anything to your credit. You want it to be a deletion. And a lot of the people that report, like, say, medical on your credit, which that seems to hit everybody's credit at some point in time, because they don't always have the best billing offices. So they'll just send them to collection companies. So if it's a medical, a lot of times those people will negotiate with you, and they will give you a deletion letter if you pay them in full. So that's one thing that you could do to kind of help your credit, and that helps it significantly when you do stuff like that.
And I'm even in the process of looking at my credit and doing the same thing. Like, I just discovered a couple of things that I had no idea. We were just talking last night or 2 nights ago. Like, you pulled my husband's credit, and we were like, what is this? So this wasn't, where did this come from? And it was something to do with, I don't know if it was medical or credit card. So we're doing it too. So this doesn't have to do with people having bad credit or being bad people or not paying their bills. Stuff hits your credit sometimes you would never ever know. So I think just being okay and being willing to face the facts and take a look at it and just make those phone calls. They're uncomfortable calls to make, but they're worth it. If it's going to jump your score up, it's going to better you for the future. It's okay to do it. So deletion letter is the key, though, right?
Deletion letter is the key with the collections. But what I like, it's better if somebody like me or another loan officer that knows credit, preferably me though, can pull the credit, give you a game plan on what to do, because I don't want you to go blind into it. You know, and remember, the credit reports that you can pull online are going to be different than the credit reports that I pull too. So at least if you're looking to buy a house, you want to have it pulled by a mortgage person, so that we can say, okay, here's what needs to be done to be able to get you there. And your credit might not even be bad. Our goal is always just to maximize your credit score, because the higher the credit, the better the rate is. So if you're sitting in the 500s, then we'll get you up as high as we can. If you're sitting in the 600s, then the goal is to try to get you up to the 700s, so we can get you the best rate possible once you move here.
Okay, good. So I do think that's an amazing offering, considering that most of the loan companies and loan officers around the world are overrun, slammed, busy, like because everybody's calling about their rates and wanting to do refis. I do think that's pretty awesome of you to offer your services to help people for preparing for the future. It takes time out of your day, and definitely, you're utilizing systems that none of us have access to, and I think that's a really nice gift that you're offering. So thank you for being willing to do that.
You.
So for those of you, we're going to keep talking, but for those of you who do want to take advantage of her offer to help just take a look at your credit, pull it for you, and really tell you, here's what matters to get your score up and here's what doesn't matter, and here's a plan of action, like please click the link either in the description of this video, or I did put it over in the comments as well. Amber's amazing, and she does not have to offer that service. So thank you for lending that offer to the world on YouTube.
Oh, no problem.
Hope you're ready.
It's our goal to get everybody into their dream of home ownership, right?
Yeah,
in Las
absolutely.
Vegas.
Woo, man, that's awesome. So, all right, what's another tip? So obviously deletion letters for any of the collections. Let's talk credit card balances.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do?
Credit card balances are really important, and a lot of people don't realize this. So if you have a credit card, and I'm just going to throw out numbers just to kind of give you an idea, okay? So if you have a credit card that you can charge $500 on the card, a lot of people think, yay, I got a $500 limit, let me charge that up because I want to build credit. That looks like what you should do, but it's not the best way to do it. So what the credit card companies or what the bureaus are looking at is they're looking for responsibility with credit card. So what they're going to look at is at that $500 balance, they're going to see how much you have owing on it, and they're going to give you credit for the amount that's left. So just to make it more simple, if you have a $500 balance and you only charge $50 on it, they're going to give you credit for the $450 that's left, which is going to build your credit up the more you have left on that card.
Right.
So basically, the smaller that you can keep those balances, the better. There's 50% to keep your card at 50% is great. If you could keep it at 30% of what you could charge on it, even better. If you could keep it only at 10% and just basically use the card to only build credit up, that's the best. So basically, if you have a $500 card, you just want to have $50 charged on it, and then pay the minimum payment. Once it gets down to zero, then charge another $50 on it. And that's going to be able to keep your scores higher and higher. There's so many people, like I just looked at a credit yesterday and we were in the low 600s, and I looked at it and I'm like, there's no collections, there's no derogatory items that have been there for like the last 2 or 3 years, and I looked at all the balances and they were all maxed out. So that's a easy fix, is to pay those balances down, and you would be surprised how much that actually just boosts your score up.
Wow.
Like it does it really fast.
That's awesome. And then let's talk about people who might have just not the greatest credit, and they're going to work on it. They're going to do the credit card thing we just talked about. They're going to do the paying off of the collections. They're going to do all of that. They're prepping for the future, right? But they just still can't seem to get over the hump. Maybe they don't have any credit established, or maybe their credit is so low they're just in just a pickle. So you and I have done this a couple times with my family, and it's worked, where if you know somebody, whether it's a relative or a very good friend, who's willing to put your name on their current credit card that has a low balance, that's, that they have good credit, so it's not going to be like you're adding yourself to someone who also has bad credit, right? You want to have someone who has good credit, who's willing to do that. You don't get a card, you don't get to go spend their money. Your name is just added to their credit. It's almost like they're endorsing you. That can jump you up tremendously, right? Is that something that's been done for a long time?
Yeah, it has been done for a long time. So honestly, like I've been able to take my kids who are at 0 FICO scores by the time they turn 18 and move them up over 700 just by doing that one simple thing.
Right.
I'll take a credit card, it has a low balance. You just want to make sure that you're not doing it with something that has a high balance, but I'll take a credit card that has a low balance on it and then add their name to it, and they're basically taking advantage of my good credit over the years.
Yeah.
Or at least my good credit on that one card, because their scores are only based on that one card that I'm adding them to. So if you've been good on one card, you could always add your family member to it, or have your parents add you to theirs, whatever way it is to make it better.
Yeah.
That's a sneaky way to do it. Otherwise, the other way too, if there's nobody to add that has the credit like that, I'll always tell people, well, go to your bank that you bank with and take out a secured credit card.
Yes.
And a secured credit card is basically like you're gonna basically charge back on your own money. So you're gonna front the bank $300. They're going to give you a balance of $300. It's your own money, but this shows on your credit report as a credit card.
Yeah.
And then you just want to keep that balance really small, just like you would do with a normal credit card. But those aren't as hard to qualify for. So if you don't have established credit or your credit has suffered in the past, then this is a way that they'll give it to you because there's no risk for the bank. All they're really doing is putting it on the bureaus. It's your $300.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Totally. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
no, that makes sense. So it's like, credit cards definitely help and hinder you. So it's about being smart, knowing what's up, what's down, and how to properly. Well, hello, Bingo. Come on. I got my dog joining me here. Bingo wants to say hi, or maybe he just wants to hide. Yes, so the credit cards can help or hinder you. I think that you explained that perfectly. So hello. Thank you. He's visiting us today. Hello, say hello to the world, Bingo.
Oh, Bingo's so cute.
Bingo, sweet baby. Now
I think we all need like a little anxiety dog to help us. The petting just helps.
I've got 2 dogs on my lap now. I better wrap this up quickly. Bingo and Baxter. Okay, get down now. Get down. All right, so let's talk about people who are in the process of kind of still wanting to buy right now. Like and they might have 1 or 2 things on their credit, and it's hard to get a hold of everybody, and like everybody's going crazy. Like, should they call you first before they start trying to call their credit cards or trying to do all that stuff? Like, what's the best next step for anybody? Hello, buddy.
Yeah, I would always say call me first so that I can give you the game plan, because if it's a credit card, maybe it's not worth calling.
Right.
Let's look at it first together. Let's run the simulators. And the simulators are basically like what if simulators. So what they do is I'll have your credit report and say, okay, what if this card went away? What if this card was paid off? What if this deletion didn't exist? What if you paid this card down to this? That kind of stuff. So when you have the simulators, we can run those and see actually what the bureaus are looking for, not just take a best guess at it.
Yeah.
So let's
run
those and give you a game plan.
Okay, cool. Bingo says hi, and he says thanks for the tips. Cool. So let me go over and see if we have any questions or any comments so I can review it. I think this is really good for anybody who's just sitting at home wondering what can they do for their future. This is a great next step. Hi, Bingo. Amber offering her services to give you what if scenarios and really help you is a tremendous offer, especially considering how busy you are. So thank you for that. We got couple questions here. A lot of people saying thank you for the video, and they're still coming to Vegas, but they're just pausing until things come back online. That's awesome. If you change careers, is there a 4-month proof of income wait? That's a good question. Get down before you can get approved for a loan. Get down.
If you change careers, so basically we're going to go back and we're going to show a 2-year history of your employment. And the banks want to see that you've been employed for 2 years. The change of career is different because sometimes you can like link one to the other. Like if you did one job like in a customer service and then you got another job that led to that because of your customer service skills, then we can link it together. So that's a question that too, if that's something that you feel like is holding you back, just make a call. Let's talk about it first, and let's see if we can link those two together somehow.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or there's past schooling that would link to it. So you can get a brand new job and still get a house as long as you have a history. But the trick is we need to link them together to show that they're related to each other somehow. Does that make sense?
Yes, and actually that's a really good question and answer.
That is a good question.
Blimpus says, sorry, but after seeing the way Sisolak is responding to COVID, Vegas is off the table. Oh, bummer. Sorry, Blimpus. That's a bummer. Lots of other people, a couple other people are saying, I'm still coming to Vegas. I don't give a dang. I'm coming. Vegas is better get ready. Here I come. I'm so excited. My move's on hold. We did get one question. Is anyone actually buying homes right now, or are you finding any problems with home inspections? People are actually buying homes right now, believe it or not. Quite lovely experience for those of us who thought we were going to be out of a job for a few months. People are still buying houses. No issues with home inspections. I think especially people who have their house on the market, they're very keen on selling that house and not letting it sit for a long time. So they're being pretty accommodating, minus the initial showings. But once they're in escrow, they're pretty much doing whatever they can to make sure that it's easy. So for instance, yesterday, some clients of mine who bought a house sight unseen. And that's always so stressful for the realtor because you're like, oh my God, they're going to hate it. They're going to love it. Did I do them right or wrong? Right? Sight unseen, meaning not in person. Obviously, we did virtual tours and stuff. But they arrived yesterday. We met up. We walked them through the house. Everybody was distanced. Everybody wore gloves, did whatever we needed to do as much as we could. And they loved the house, first of all. Thank goodness. and that people got completely out of the house. So there was no reason for anybody to cross paths. Everybody was very respectful. We were wiping up after ourselves, and so yeah, no issues with inspections. Appraisals have been an interesting thing. We haven't had any issues with any coming in low yet, and I know that a lot of the appraisers are making adjustments to how they appraise based on, taking this into consideration. So nope, people are still buying houses, believe it or not. Let me see what else we have here. My move's on hold. Food and beverage industry doesn't think that's ever going to be the same. He thinks the $3.99 prime rib is coming back. Hey, that's not a bad thing for Vegas. I'll take it. Someone else says, I'm delaying. I work at a warehouse, but I was thinking about doing some online work through the same company. If it's the same company, I think it's the same career. So I think you're okay, right? If you were to switch careers, that was the career question. They followed up by saying, if I work in the warehouse now, but I'm doing some online work, but it's through the same company, that's still the same company.
Oh, then that's the same. Yeah, because that led to your online work. So
yes.
Yeah, you're fine.
Cool. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I don't want to drag this out too much. What else do we have to share with our people who are looking towards the future and planning? Because that's what we're trying to focus on today. What do you have to say? Anything we left off?
I would just say, let's, we already talked about pulling the credit. Let's get all the paperwork together, because I think once this thing comes out, the phone calls that I'm getting are people from all kinds of different, cities that are just kind of like, I am done with it here.
Yep.
That are in quarantine in other different places. So I'm getting a lot of calls, and I know you are too, Lacey. So I feel like once it's back up and running and the fear is a little bit, subtle at that point, then people are going to be saying, okay, let's come. So I would say get all the paperwork ready, get everything ready, and let's just have it ready to where right when we're back online, you can just run like the wind, on the houses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
as far as buying a house.
No, I agree with you, and I think that's the key is staying ahead of the curve. So it's never too early, and I say this all the time. I had someone reach out to me yesterday and said it's probably too early, but I'm not looking to buy until December. And I said it's never too early, honestly, because you could start your shopping now and just get a good lay of the land. We can build a rapport, we can build a relationship. Same thing with Amber. You can get your paperwork done, even if you're not buying for 10 years. Frankly, even if you're never going to buy a house ever, and you're just moving to Vegas and you just want some insight, we want to be a resource for you. My team and I do. Amber and her team do. We love the idea of you buying a house because we know it's going to be helping you in the future from an investment perspective. But if that's just not your bag, cool. Call us anyway. Let us help you understand what the lay of the land looks like. Let us help you understand what rentals look like. Let us give you advice so that you're choosing the right area of town that's going to serve your life. So this isn't just us showing up trying to get business. This is so much more than that. Amber and I don't ever put money ahead of people and serving the community as best we can. We genuinely care about people who are moving here, and genuinely care that you guys know what you need to know when you land here, so you stay. Because we don't want you bouncing and then bouncing out. That's like we don't need that happening anymore. No more transient Vegas. We need people to stick and stay. So thank you for always being available, Amber. I really appreciate, just all that you bring to the table and your knowledge and your unwillingness to give up and to take no for an answer. It's pretty inspiring. Thank you for doing that for everybody.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
It takes your inspiration first to make all this happen. So thank you for being who you are, Lacey. You are truly an awesome inspiration.
Thank you. And I do have to give one shout out. Our good friend, JT, Life of JT, his channel, he's always so good to us, always comments on our stuff. Please be sure to say hi. He wants me to give a shout out to one of my team members, Steve Carter. So if you guys are looking for, believe it or not, I have a dude on my team. It's a lot of chicks, really cute ones, by the way, but also have a dude, and he's pretty cute too. His name's Steve Carter. He busts his butt. My entire team just busts their butt. We're up to 10 agents now on the Cerrone Group, and we are so proud because we're different than any other agency that you're going to find. We collaborate with one another. We are fun. We have a good time, and we go above and beyond. So thanks, JT, for always giving shout outs to us, but also for helping me shout out my boy Steve. He's awesome. He's killing it, and we're excited about what the future holds for us. So if you're thinking about moving to Vegas, even if it's 5 years from now, use one of the links in the comments or one of the links down below in the description. Let us know how we can help you. It does not matter if it's real estate related, especially from my perspective. It's just about living your best Las Vegas life, and we care so much about that, right?
It is, yeah. And even if you just need a different mindset or whatever it is,
let us help you. Let's be friends. That's all I have to say. Mm-hmm. So we've got 10 amazing agents. Any of us are happy to take a call with you. I can personally take a call. And then Amber is here when you're ready to start really dreaming about the future and start getting your ducks in a row. never a better time than now. We've got time on our hands. Stop watching Tiger King and maybe start watching our beautiful lone tigress here. Amber, that was a really bad pun, but I love that Tiger King, so I had to do it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us today. If you're watching this on repeat, same offer stands. Just click one of the links. We'd love to chat with you. Amber, I'm going to wish you a beautiful day. Hope you're going to enjoy it. And I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.